There's a very traditional story about how a bill becomes law. It's a cartoon about a bill, and it's like the bill is just bouncing around Capitol Hill, right? Like it's going up the steps of the House. This is a better story. At least it's a good story. Two things to know. One is the name of the bill. It's the Social Security Fairness Act. The second thing is this is the 118th Congress. In the 107th Congress, this bill was introduced 2 decades ago. It was introduced as the Social Security Fairness Act. It was introduced in the next Congress, and the next Congress, and the next Congress, and the next Congress. You get the point. Just real quick, let me tell you what the bill does. If you're a public retiree and you get a pension, you don't get all your Social Security benefits. Teachers, firefighters, police officers, letter carriers, public nurses, these are all folks who paid into Social Security, but they don't get all of their Social Security benefits. So it gets introduced in every Congress, and it goes to committee where it usually dies. And it looked like the same thing was gonna happen in this Congress. Over 300 members of Congress co-sponsor it. You'd think it would have the kind of support it would need to get a vote in committee and on the floor, but it wasn't going anywhere. Now, enter constituents. In my case, her name was Melissa, public school teacher, about to retire. She's really frustrated and she wants this thing fixed. And all over the country, they start calling their members of Congress. Pressure begins to mount, but no vote. Quick side story. I love the National Archives. And I was at the National Archives and they had out the 1964 discharge petition and cloture motion for the Civil Rights Act. Even though King and the president and others agreed on civil rights, they couldn't get it past leadership. So they did a discharge petition. I get back to the office, I tell the team about the 1964 Civil Rights Act and the role of the discharge petition, and why don't we do that with the Social Security Fairness Act? And we did. In this case, there was a Democrat and a Republican leading the bill. It took us a couple weeks, but we all agreed a discharge petition was the way to go. A discharge petition literally sits in the well of the House, and members come up and they sign on to it, and once you get 218 signatures, it has to come to the floor for a vote. After being back in the district for several weeks, the first vote Tuesday night was the Social Security Fairness Act, and it passed overwhelmingly. Moral of the story is 1, grassroots advocacy works, and number 2, sometimes you gotta go right to the folks who are gonna make the decision and go around leadership. And it's not breaking a rule, it's just saying, hey, we're gonna get this done no matter what. You gotta get it through the Senate, so call your senator and let's get this thing done.